I think it was the first couple months we've been going to C3 that Pastor Sam got up and talked about Vision Builders. Immediately, we were drawn to the project with Matthew House, and so we really felt God putting it on our hearts to give.
And so that Vision Builder service, Ian and I were texting back and forth as to how much we wanted to give.
We were saving for a down payment for a house for quite a while, and so that also made it quite difficult. Everyone's different, but I guess for us in this situation, we just felt that we were in a place where God was asking us to take that extra step.
We came up with a number. The week after, we wrote the check, both had our hands on the offering envelope, and we just dropped it in and just gave it to God. A few minutes later, Pastor Sam went up and said, "Good news, there's just a certain amount left on the mortgage." And we looked at each other because that was actually the exact amount that we had just dropped into the bucket a few minutes before. And so that was like a crazy lightning bolt moment for us. I remember shaking and just really feeling the presence of God with us.
In that moment, we really felt God saying, I see you. I see your marriage, I see your relationship, and I have a purpose for you.
God kind of put on our hearts at one point to actually be closer to church. And so we began our year-long search for a house and, required patience and things like that. And finally, we came upon a house that we liked. We walked in with our realtor one Sunday before church and just really felt like this was home. So we decided to put a bid in. We prepared our bid, and an hour before the deadline, our realtor called us and said, "There's actually 0 offers on this house. Maybe you guys should consider going lower." We came up with a bid. By the time that we had put our bid in, there were actually 6 other offers on the house. But the amazing thing is that ours was the one that was still accepted. And on top of that, the amount that we lowered our bid by was actually relatively the same amount that we had put towards Vision Builders.
There's something very special about being close to church and being close to community and being close to your spiritual family, being physically available. I'd like to say that things were easy after that and everything just fell into place, but it was actually probably the weeks after we moved in that things actually became really hard. We started experiencing what we felt like were attacks, not just our health, but also our work situation. Even though we had this kind of craziness of whirlwind of a situation going around us, we felt a sense of peace and calm and just God's faithfulness.
The house was a reminder of God's faithfulness. And so when we would have these difficult times, and I used to wonder, why is all this happening to us? Usually I would wonder those things while I'm in this house. And that would just be that thing for me that says, God has a plan for us. God has a vision for us. Just keep
He's provided
moving
before
through.
and he'll provide again. For a long time, we thought that the miracle of Vision Builders was getting a house. But for us, I think the miracle was really understanding that the house is just a small part of God's faithfulness, and God's will for us was really to become more united as a couple and basically grow together in this safe space and be surrounded by his love and protection.